Hello there, good evening, or good afternoon rather, and welcome to, well, it is good evening actually, it's 5:30 in the evening at the time of this live, and good evening and welcome to delayed coverage of Saturday's game between Burnley and Southampton, recorded commentary, full match commentary from Turf War, and coming to you from, as I say, the game's coming to you from Turf War. Burnley's first match in the Premier League this season, and what a game it promises to be. Or promised to be against Southampton. The Saints, who of course are under the stewardship of Ralph Brusenherdl. The last time these two teams met at Turf Moor, you'd remember, was a highly controversial 1-1 draw, and Burnley didn't get what looked to be a possible penalty. But the atmosphere was superb. It was a packed house, and when the teams came out at about 5-3, it really did look like a real atmosphere, and it was going to be one of those games. Let's get over to the turf, back to Saturday, as I talk you through now the team news. Enjoy the commentary. Welcome to Turf War. Burnley are back here at the turf. Their first game since being beaten against Arsenal competitively back in May. 3-1 they lost, but they've had a couple of great pre-season results. They beat Nice here 5-0 a couple of weeks ago in pre-season, and of course they beat Parma here a week ago, so they know what they're all about. The atmosphere is superb, the teams are out on the pitch, so let me whip through the two lineups very quickly. Burnley with no Tom Heaton anyway, so they've got Nick Pope in goal. And it's Matt Lowton, James Tarkowski, Ben Mee, who's the new captain, and Eric Peters makes his debut from Stoke. And then it's Goodmanson on the right, with Corker Westford in the middle. Dwight McNeil will keep his place on the left-hand side, and it's the deadly duo that scored all the goals last season that more or less kept Burnley up. I talk about number 10, Ashley Barnes, and number 9, Chris Wood. On the bench for the Clarets, Joe Hart, Ben Gibson, Bill Bardsley, Kevin Long, Jeff Enrick, Aaron Lennon, and the welcome return to Burnley of Jay Rodriguez as Sean Dyche claps the supporters here at the turf. Southampton very quickly, Angus Gunn in goal for them, then it's a back three of Vestergaard, Stevens and Bednarek. Romeo, Rob, Prowse, Bertrand, Valeri are the midfield four, and up front we've got Danny Ings back at his old stomping ground. Che Adams, a new signing from Birmingham City, who Burnley were reportedly interested in, and Nathan Redmond, who caused Burnley all sorts of problems in the game here at the turf back in February. On the bench, McCarthy, Soares, Yoshida, Gennaro, Buffal, Oibier and Obafemi, a new signing. The referee today comes from Oxfordshire, that's Graham Scott. His two assistants are Neil Davis on the far side, Andy Garron on the near side. The fourth official is Ross Joyce. And we've got two VAR officials today. Peter Banks is the VAR referee, and he's assisted down in London by Derek Eaton. So Ben Mee and James Ward-Prowse, the two skippers this afternoon, and what an atmosphere it's going to be. Turf War buzzing with excitement. First game of the season. They've got some very tricky games to come in the rest of August, none more so than they've got Arsenal away at the Emirates next weekend. And after that they've got a tricky trip to Molineux to face Wolverhampton Wanderers, and then back here at Turf War on the 31st of August they play Liverpool, the European champions, who of course last night absolutely beat Norwich almost to a pulp by 4-1. So we're all set to go then at the turf. It's a cracking atmosphere. The game delayed, coming to you from Turf War, and it's going to be Southampton in their change shirts of black, of dark grey and yellow, almost like the colours you see on a high visibility jacket. It's amazing what away kits ideas, crazy ideas that kit makers come up with away kits, but there you go. At least we can tell who the two teams are. It's Southampton to kick off. Burnley need, I remind you, are in claret and blue. Nathan Redmond is going to get us underway, so they're going to attack the end in the black and yellow shirt. Southampton away to my left hand side. That's the Jimmy McElroy end, after the late Burnley footballer who passed away a year ago, almost to the year as we get underway, and Stevens Looks that early ball forward over to the far side. Burnley attacking the cricket field end. There are 2,300 Southampton fans who have travelled a good 350 miles up from the south coast here into this wet and windy, murky Lancashire afternoon. And it's typical Burnley weather for this game, I can tell you. I mean, coming from these parts, you can tell that we're used to it. It's very strong. I tell you what, you need to be a strong person to withstand the Burnley weather. And when you've been used to it and living in these parts for years, you understand why. Here's Redmond, plenty of pace, or rather Bertrand finds Redmond, who tormented Burnley quite a bit in the game at Turf Moor. Scored a terrific goal, in fact, in that 1-1 draw, but it was also infamous because of Ashley Barnes being booked, who were protesting that they should have had a penalty, and it was a clear foul by the goalkeeper who's on the subs bench today, in fact Alex McCarthy as well. And if you just wondered, and that would have been worth a shout from VAR if that had been there at the time, but it hasn't. Burnley got a late go out of it, foul on Peter Crouch, and that was that as the ball comes in towards the back post, and Che Adams in only the second minute almost made an instant impact for Southampton. Burnley didn't read the cross, it came in from the right hand side, the cross. Lovely football this. Mayo's cross, and Che Adams in the end used the side of his left foot, or the outside of his left foot, to stab it towards goal, but he's hit the left hand side of the side netting, and it remains goalless with almost 2 minutes gone of the first half. Big opportunity there for Ralph Husenedel. There's Nick Pope in an all red goalkeeper's jersey, an all orange goalkeeper's jersey today. Takes the number 1 shirt after Tom Eaton's departure to Aston Villa for just £8 million, and you know my feelings on that. It doesn't need to be said again. There's the referee today, Graham Scott from Oxford, as we've seen there. Burnley have a throw in the edge of the penalty area, Southampton penalty area on the far side, which is the Bob Ward stand side. Where I'm situated in is the top of the what they used to be called the long side, now named the James Hargreaves stand for sponsorship reasons. In case you're wondering from elsewhere who the heck's James Hargreaves, it's an heating and plumbing business. Also does fitted kitchens in the local area. So, little plug there for them. As we see Danny Ings there, lose possession. It's a throw in to Burnley. Taken very quickly. Burnley very much need to win this game. Mind you, Southampton next year is not be at home, but they're not easy games altogether. Next up, they've got European champions Liverpool, and then they've got Manchester United to come a week later at the same venue. Stuart McNeil fouled over on the far side, and it's a free kick to Burnley. Is the culprit there. Just going in behind Dwight McNeil a little bit, stamping on him as well a little bit. Just a free kick to the Clarets. 3.5 minutes gone. The free kick lifted in by McNeil towards Chris Wood, who's now in the number 9 jersey this season. And Burnley get a throw in. Stevens getting across there. Number 5. And get a throw level with the Southampton 6-yard area practically. And the ball thrown in to McNeil. And came back again. Let's see how Eric Peters does. £1.5 million, I'm being told, from Stoke City, so he must have something about it. Decent player. Plenty of what he does bring to the table, even though he's not one of those spectacular signings. What he does bring is a lot of experience and a lot of fight and a lot of character, what Sean Nash will probably require from. Although a lot of people will say Charlie Taylor should be still wearing the shirt by rights, and he should be after his performances, certainly in the second half of last season where he performed heroically as Redmond and Bertrand team up on that left hand side. The cross is blocked by Tarkowski by Redmond, and there'll be a Southampton throwing level with the edge of the Burnley penalty area on the near side. 5 minutes almost gone, and it's gone very, very quickly already, I have to tell you. We'll throw in there, hooked away once more, this time by Matt Wilton. He's got a chance to go back to his old stomping ground later on, Matt Lawton, in the season. He won't have to wait too long, just over a month and a half before Burnley travel to Villa in late September. It's the Villa who play Spurs later on. Just to see how Tom Eaton goes this afternoon as the ball is hooked forward once again towards Barnes. Westwood winning there to win the next ball, and now Barnes helps it on. And now Burnley, the new captain, tries to find Jack Cork. Cork was there, and it was a good challenge by Jack. Corky did really well, and Stevens having to get across as that ball was launched down the left-hand channel. And Stevens was across and knocks it into the Bob Lord stand after the former Burnley chairman, former secretary of the football, former chairman of the Football League, I believe. He certainly was one of the hierarchy at the Football League for many, many years. He's deaf to his death in early 19, around about early 81. Oh, that looked perilously close to the edge of the area there from Angus Gunn. Angus Gunn was that inside the penalty area. I don't think it's one of the decisions that VAR can actually check. We do have VAR in operation. Just reminding the referee for that is Peter Banks. But the Burnley fans aren't happy. They think it should be a free kick outside the area, because it was. It did look it looked very touch and go. Whether that was just inside the penalty area, it was right on the right hand line of the penalty box, the 18-yard box, and well, Graham Scott felt he was well within his rights to pick that up. But he's getting the bird from the Burnley fans, quite rightly so, Angus Gunn, because they feel that the Burnley fans, in their minds, and certainly this one here, and I am a Burnley fan, I class myself as one, despite trying to be as strictly neutral as I can. Well, that was perilously close, I have to say. Another day, another ref. All I'll say is, and another day and a different referee, that might have been given. Anyway, here's Peters to get it forward for Burnley. Long ball up towards Barnes, but gone this time well inside his penalty area, just to the left of on the left-hand side of it. Takes the ball, and that was well inside the penalty area. I don't think we can have any grumbles about that. Almost 7.5 minutes gone here at Turf Moor. The best chance in the first half falling to Jay Adams for Southampton at the moment, and he heads that out for a throw-in deep inside Burnley territory on the far side. And it's a great atmosphere. I have to say, Turf Moor is one of those places where you're going to have trouble, you're going to have problems, but it's how you deal with those problems. And the wind is swirling. And it's behind Southampton in the first half, you would think. They're going to have a throw in now. They think almost some with the penalty area. I think they've fought a few yards personally, but here comes Southampton again. Good tackle there by Ben Mee, and it is a corner to Southampton. The wind is absolutely relentless here at the turf. It doesn't feel like a summer to me. It is a little bit dank and a little bit breezy, quite breezy in fact, compared to the last 2 or 3 commentaries already we've done. It's been quite hot and sticky. Anyway, here's the corner in from the penalty area. Comes out again, and Romeo gets right underneath that left-footed shot and goes into the Jimmy McElroy stand behind Nick Pope's goal. And a goal kick as we approach the 9th minute mark of the first half, and it's still Burnley now, Southampton 0. The game delayed from Turf Moor, coming to you from Turf Moor, and the rain now starting to pour down as I look from a camera angle, which is looking over the terrace streets of Burnley behind the stadium. It could almost be the scene, or set the scene for something like Coronation Street or something like that. Anyway, back to the game, and it's Rafe and Redmond running towards the penalty area, cutting in from the left-hand side. The ball breaks just to the left a little bit, and Romeo halfway inside the Burnley half though. And Romeo goes to the left, and here's the Casey Redmond, who had plenty to say for himself on his last visit here when he scored. He scored a cracking goal. It's got to be said of it against the run of the play, and almost put Stevens in trouble there. Jack Stevens almost in a bit of trouble. Anyway, here's Valeri down this near far side. Valeri cuts inside, finds Romeo 30 or so yards from goal, tries to lay it into Bertrand. Bertrand surely took his man, and he took down Ashley Westwood. It's a free kick to the Clarets. Just the wind and the rain is now beginning to come at us relentlessly here, and in fact it was Lawton who was pulled from behind, by Bertrand, and the long ball forward towards Ashley Barnes. He's nullified and he's gone behind for a goal kick. 10 minutes gone, still 0-0. So Burnley looking to get these 3 crucial points. After a good start, remember they've got 3 very tricky games coming up against Arsenal at the Emirates Stadium next Saturday lunchtime, and then a week later they have to go to Wolverhampton. They lost very heavily 1-0, and I use the word heavily very well, because Wolves should have won it by 5, maybe 6-0 last season, but if I remember rightly, Joe Hart made a series of exceptional saves in that game. I think we lost to a goal from Jimenez, but Joe Hart played well out of his skin and kept the game to 1-0, and that was a difficult afternoon for us. And this is a difficult moment there as the shot comes in from Che Adams. It's blocked away, and Barnes again and Wood battling for the ball on halfway, and the ball back to Stevens again. Stevens gets it back from the 1-2, trods over the halfway line, gets a long ball out. There's 2 Southampton players over on the far side, but neither of them can keep it in play. And one of them was Valeri. He was nearest to it, but he couldn't keep that in. Good idea from Jack Stevens. A little bit of a bold play there by the 3 centre backs, along with Vestergaard and Bednarek. Nice to see turf ball looking good now. The building work is almost done. The far corner between the Bob Road stand and the Jimmy McElroy stand is almost completed. The corner between the longside stand and the McElroy stand is now full of disabled supporters as well, which is going to boost the coffers a bit at Turf Moor. It's going to boost the crowd up a bit. So we're going to have at least over 100 wheelchair access spaces here at the Turf. There's a new police box as well, where the police will look for any crowd safety offences or any trouble. First in the old bricked building that they had to the back end of about a year ago. Turf Moor now looking a bit more spick and span, and the corner's certainly being filled in now. There's been talk about knocking the cricket field stand and replacing it with a similar 2-tier structure for years, but there's a cricket club right behind the football ground, and you have to relocate the cricket club. Anyway, back to the game as the ball breaks forward for a right-footed shot. It was a terrific right-footed shot from the captain there of Southampton. Must have been from 30 yards out, almost central, with 13 minutes gone from James Ward-Prowse. And it was Goodmanson's tackle, and there's the shot back in, and Nick Pope actually saw it all the way and patted the ball down and caught it in Ralphie's hands at the second time of asking. Pope, who's only played 2 games since the season before last because of a shoulder injury he picked up at Aberdeen. They were both at the start of last season, so he's not played a Premier League game since Bournemouth in May 2018. But one thing is for certain, he'll be wanting to make up for lost time. He's got the number 1 shirt now. He's a terrific keeper, as we saw in that season when he replaced Tom Eaton in the side after Eaton had got his shoulder injury. And if he shows the sort of form that got him a World Cup spot a couple of years ago, and I've got no fears that Nick Pope will be a fantastic long-term replacement for Tom Eaton in the Burnley goals. His first league appearance, as I say, in something like 15 months. He has played 3 times since. As I said, that game he got injured in at Aberdeen in the Europa last year, a year ago. He had to be replaced by Lindegaard in a very difficult matchup at Fitzelsbury, which currently ended up getting a 1-1 draw and subsequently winning the game over 2 legs after extra time here. And he appeared in 2 FA Cup ties, one against Barnsley here when they sneaked it by a 1-0 through a penalty from Chris Wood. And Manchester City when they were beaten 5-0, unfortunately. And as a consequence were knocked out of the FA Cup. Around later than they usually do. They always seem to go out in the 3rd round a lot of the time. So we improved the round on last season. So that's one thing we can gratitude ourselves with. Hopefully we can go forward. Anyway, you've not missed anything that's significant. 15 minutes gone here at the turf. It's Burnley 0, Southampton 0. Burnley have a throw in now, almost on the halfway line. Flick on by Barnes, in towards Wood, but Bednarek is there, of course, down that near side, or that far side, I should say. And the ball had a play on the far side for a throw in. But Burnley, well, we've started okay, but without being too spectacular. The fans are out in force. You're always going to get that from Burnley. There isn't too much of a doubt about it. And Jay Rodriguez, his hair a lot longer these days than it used to be. Didn't have a particularly good playoff campaign with West Bromwich Albion when they were beaten by Aston Villa. And a couple of chances in those semi-finals. I think there was one opportunity he had at Villa Park where he smacked the crossbar at the old end. And there's a flag up here. Barnes will play it into Wood, who will score, but the VAR will check it. Andy Garrett on the near side, flag it away. 16 minutes gone. Burnley have had a goal chalked off. They'll check it for offside here. Burnley fans aren't happy with the linesman Andy Garrett because they feel that Barnes was onside. There was a slip by a defender, but the question was actually Barnes in an offside position as that ball was played? We're waiting on replays here. We're waiting on an action replay. Let's see if Barnes was offside. Oh, it's tight. It's tight. It's very tight indeed. Stevens was the man who was who slipped there, but if it was very marginal, if that. And VAR decided. They are checking the goal. This is what they've seen. And we'll get it up on our screens in a second. The decision is no goal, which is not going to go down too well here with the locals. But I suppose that's the reason why it's introduced VAR, to eradicate the poor decisions. And at least it kept the fans something to cheer about whilst we were waiting for that decision. But if it was a part of an anatomy that was just offside, then Andy Garrett had better eyes than me. Let's put it that way. But that's what the VAR was introduced. It's not been introduced yet at Football League matches or up in Scotland as yet, but it has been trialled, it has been used everywhere else. Italy, I think, Spain, and Germany, I think, have had it, and certainly it's been involved in certain League Cup ties and FA Cup games. Hopefully they'll get VAR for all FA Cup matches as well. I think a few of the smaller teams would like to benefit from this sort of VAR decision. That's a handball, surely, as Westwood knocked the ball up onto one of the Southampton defenders' arms on the edge of the area, but Graham Scott was not interested, and I don't think VAR can save Burnley on that score. But they've got possession, however, with Gudmundsson. Gudmundsson's crossing from the right hand side, a lot of deflection on the cross. It favours Bednarek for Southampton, who gets it away. Starting to happen a little bit, a disallowed goal for VAR, and now a controversial handball that wasn't given by Mr. Scott. It did look a handball to me. Maybe Graham Scott's interpretation of the law was a little more different to what my interpretation of it was, but that's the debate as Tarkowski gets the ball forward with the right foot. Burnley going to be on the end of some more iffy and controversial referee against Southampton. They were certain for large periods of the corresponding fixture back in February, where it ended one apiece, where naturally Barnes should have had a penalty, and it was one of the more clear-cut penalties that you'll ever see in your life. And the referee that afternoon had to deter, and boy, did I enjoy taking him to task that afternoon. That was one of the most controversial decisions I think I've ever seen. I still maintain what I said on that day. In fact, he's actually down to do the big game of the day tomorrow between Manchester United and Chelsea. Why is he still allowed to referee big games like that, Anthony Taylor, after his ridiculously poor display here in the last game here between those two sides? I'll see. But Andy Garrett certainly looks as if he's feeling the strain a little bit. Actually, wrinkles on the poor lad. But I certainly think it wasn't much in it, and I think in some respects, you have to give the benefit to the attacking team there. It didn't look much in it, and if it was He was probably ahead, but then when does that become active? Just simplify the offside rule. Anyway, 20 minutes gone. It's Burnley 0, Southampton 0. Controversy with VAR here. Here's Gudmundsson, right hand side, gets his cross out. He digs a good cross out. Oh, and it was Chris Wood trying the overhead kick by the penalty spot. Burnley still have possession, but they've lost it now to Valeri. And now a chance now for Southampton to come forward. And this is James Ward-Prowse in the centre of the field. Finds Redmond on halfway inside the centre circle. Gets it out to the left. He finds Ryan Bertrand. Bertrand, a former England international, finds Redmond. A promising young lad at Birmingham, but lost his way a little bit. But so crucial to Southampton's course to try and stay in the Premier League this season. These are two sides that finish in the bottom six. Ward-Prowse with a right-footed shot blocked by Jack Cork, former Southampton player himself, of course. This is Bertrand again on the left-hand side. Links up well with Redmond. Redmond looks to go in field and he'd see what's on. He found James Ward-Prowse, the captain, come through the youth academy down there at St Mary's. James Ward-Prowse doing really well. 21 gone. It's still Burnley 0, Southampton 0. Delayed commentary on the Twitch channel and the JB Claret YouTube channel. Here's Romeo out to the far side, and it's a ball that finds Valeri. Valeri cuts inside from the right hand side of it. The ball goes straight to Gudmundsson, and Burnley clear. And clear 3/4 of the way up the field, where Jack Stevens now has possession, and he's got possession. He's at walking pace here at the moment, Jack Stevens. And he finds Bednarek. Up to Stevens again. Westergaard is to his left if he decides to go across there, but he's going to go across to the right. And to his other centre-back, Bednarek. Infield to Romeo, back to Bednarek again. Halfway inside his own half. Ward-Prowse, 10 yards from halfway, inside the Southampton half, and the ball played over halfway, but then Burnley put it back in the Southampton half with interest and with compliments. And now Ben Mee has it, and it's on halfway, and it's Peters back to Westwood. Westwood back to Peters. Just going over to the left a little bit now, Burnley, the far side as we look towards the Bob Lord stand. Now the ball is down the near side now with Lowton. And there's a foul there, surely, but the referee not interested again. It did look as if one of the Southampton players had clattered him, but he wasn't interested. Here's Westwood now to get the long ball forward, and it's going to bisect everyone. It's going to go through to Angus Gunn, the goalkeeper, Scottish international. Son, of course, of former Scotland goalkeeper Brian Gunn, who had many years at Norwich City, you may remember. He was in Norwich's team that finished third in the inaugural Premier League season well over 27 years ago. And then in the next season starred in Norwich's run in Europe, where they beat Bayern Munich of all teams in Munich to go through. And in the end they lost, I think, in the 4th round of the UEFA Cup against Inter Milan. But they had a fantastic run in that year and got relegated the next year, I seem to remember. As the ball played forward by Danny Ings, the former Burnley player, towards the area, looking for Che Adams, I think. And now McNeil's trying to keep it in. I think he's done so, and he's kept it in really well, McNeil. He's tried to take a one player too many and ran into Romeo. He finds Ward-Prowse, still inside the Southampton half. Burnley just under the cosh a little bit as we go past the halfway mark. 24 minutes gone in the first half, so we're past the halfway mark of the first half here at the turf, and it's still Burnley 0, Southampton 0, as the ball is pushed back once more to the goalkeeper, and that's forward with terrific interest, and it's a cracking atmosphere for this game. It's got to be said. It's been very good to watch. I have to say that indeed. So 24.5 minutes into the game. A free kick from the game. And you're listening to the game that well to take the free kick. This was an offside as that ball was pumped in. It's gone towards the right, and Ashley Barnes Keep it in. Ashley Barnes. He's one of the characters. He really is he's one of the game's great characters. That is for certain. An atmosphere to beat no other. So I'm just good now. Prepares to take a goal kick, right-footed over the well, flicked on over the halfway line by Ward-Prowse actually. Romeo gets it forward, but that should be Nick Pope's in his. Pope throws out to Ben Mee. Mee now on to Eric Peters. Experience at Stoke, had about 5 or 6 decent years at Stoke City. He's not first choice in Nathan Jones's mind last season as Stoke struggled in the Championship after so many years playing in the Premier League. Here's Lowton with a good little cross from the right hand side, breaks the court, now back to the right hand side. Lowton, edge of the penalty area, Goodmanson dead central, gets his shot off and just wide of the right hand post. Terrific left footed effort there by Johan Berg Goodmanson, and he's not renowned for goal scoring, but my goodness, when he does score, they are really good goals he gets. Good effort, and Angus Gunn was worried. He was diving away to his left, and that's the best opportunity of the first half that Burnley have fashioned and created. And it came from Johan Berg Goodmanson. It was some good work as well, incidentally, from Messrs Cork and Lowton down the near side, the right hand side, and in the end could have led to something very, very spectacular. But at the moment it's Burnley 0, Southampton 0. And also after this match we'll get you Sean Dyche and Ralph Rusinado and a few other stars. The post-match interviews on the end of the delayed commentary. Seeing a shot there with the two managers. Rusinado in the background, Sean Dyche in the foreground. 27 gone. Both teams have had a glorious couple of chances each. Burnley 0, Southampton 0. On ball by Ben Mee, looking towards Chris Wadd, who's wearing number 9, as opposed to our former number 11, which is now being taken by Dwight McNeil. Waiting for the officials even to get involved there. We've got the referee and of course the ref, that's Peter Banks of course. Just to remind you, his assistant is Derek Eaton. E-A-T-O-N, not H-E, not the Tom Eaton spelling either. Tommy action later today against Tottenham, his new club, Aston Villa, and needless to say, I wish Tom personally all the very best. He did really well at Turf Moor. His real service over 6 years. Sean Dyche's first ever signing at the club, believe it or believe it not. Team club captain 2 years later. Obviously 1 year in the Championship, and he was a captain more or less from then till the next time. So Ben Mee, not a universally popular choice with me, because I remember commentating on a live match here at Turf Moor last year with Newcastle on the JB YouTube channel, and he was shockingly bored and all over the place. And so free kick being given against Che Adams, and a foul with Ben Mee, who seems to be actually in some pain here, and it did look a horrible challenge. Some of the Burnley fans, I'm just noticing on the Bob Ward, did not like it. Here comes the throw. Adams is battling with it, runs in to make, and in fact whoa, the studs are showing. The studs are showing indeed. Che Adams, well, that's a red card, isn't it? Surely VAR's got to check this. It had to be checked. Graham Scott's got to query it, surely. The VAR boys are having a look at it. I mean, how obvious is that? I'm looking at a replay. Che Adams stood as a showing it. Okay, it's one-footed, but I've seen red cards given for less than that. And Ben Mee, who's not the sort of player to cry in agony that easily, goes down there. It's a blatantly obvious decision with 29.5 minutes gone. Surely the decision here has to be a red card. I'll be amazed if it isn't. And if he is, Che Adams is a lucky man. Has he given... Oh, he's not giving even a yellow card. Well, I find that amazing. Turf Moor is stunned. Absolutely stunned. Well, I believe that's a red card, and Southampton should be down to 10, and they'll be uproar if Burnley don't win this game. That looked to me as if Che Adams had to be sent off, but he wasn't. And now Redmond on the attack for Southampton, deep inside the Burnley half. And now Redmond looking to get it onto the right foot. It's Redmond. Oh, that would have been ironic if I had gone to Che Adams, and the injustice is there if that had gone in from Che Adams as the ball was attempted towards him. But surely Che Adams should be gone. He should be walking down that tunnel between the cricket field and Hargreaves stand. Surely he has to. Well, I find that completely, utterly baffling. And once again, I think VAR being in time will be a good thing. Let's not make any issues about that. We're half an hour in. The times, of course, the Premier League timing, of course, supported by Tag Heuer, the official timing supplier of the Premier League. But here's Romeo, but the flag is up, and well played, Neil Davis, but not so Neil. Well, I think Neil Davis might have had a part to play in that other decision there, where the decision not to send off Nath, but to send off Che Adams for what looked a horror tackle. And Ben Mee is the sort of man, with all due respect, that never goes down easily, that never cries too much in agony. He's one of the most bravest players that you can actually think of. Okay, he wouldn't have been my first choice as captain, but given the situation as a player and as a man, he's a tough lad. And for him to go down wincing in agony like that is very rare for somebody of Ben Mee's calibre, because we've seen great boxing when balls have hit their face, when shots have hit his face, when he's attempted to clear and everything, he puts his body on the line, but yet he never shrugs or complains of any agony. So it takes a lot, and Che Adams to me is a very lucky man. In fact, I think he's used probably about 8 of his 9 lives. I'll go as far as to say that. That was a disgraceful decision from all the officials, not just the officials on the field. Here's Chris Wood inside the area, but his first touch was poor, and it breaks very kindly for Southampton and for Angus Gunn. But going back to the Che Adams issue here, you've got to look at it. Was there an offside there against Wood as the ball was played? But he's definitely, he's just off actually, so fair play there. Good spot there from linesman Andy Garrett. But I've got to say really, with hindsight, you look at that, if I was in charge of VAR, I would be recommending a red card there. There's no doubt about it. And we've seen red cards given in previous seasons for less than that. It's getting comical, this, really, if you think about it. It is really getting beyond the joke. I mean, that is a basic. I mean, you look at that, it's a red card. Any other day of the week, you see that elsewhere. You know, there might be a League Cup game later this week when we'll see a red card for a similar challenge like that, or even the Super Cup even, and we'll see red cards given for that. And it's just, it really does annoy me. 33 minutes gone anyway. Burnley 0, Southampton 0. One ball forward again. Well, VAR was always going to have its teething problems. I don't think there was any question about that, but we didn't know how much of a teething problem it was actually going to be in terms of giving the right decision and doing the right thing. But there you go. It's just, you know, well, unless the only thing I can think of was the actual casting vote with Graham Scott. I mean, obviously Graham Scott's got one shot at it, but the whole point of having VAR in is to help the referee and to help him come to the right decision. That's not helping him really come to the right decision, and that is where I find the whole Che Adams leg breaking foul thing a scandal, because that's a red card. You cannot tell me that isn't a yellow. Yes, I have the benefit of about 23 different camera angles in front of me, but that's not the point. The point is it's clear evidence, and you know, and if I was, you know, I think the FA or the powers that be in English football should get themselves together, whether it's the Premier League, the FA or the Football League, get themselves together. If someone's on evidence, take the Rugby League rule, like, you know, if someone makes a horrible tackle or assaults another player on the field, put them on report and put them in front of a disciplinary hearing. I think Che Adams should suffer that sort of fate. I think he deserves to. 25 minutes gone. It's Burnley 0, Southampton 0. Southampton very lucky, in my opinion, to still have 11 men on the pitch. Che Adams should have been sent off for a horrible challenge that could have broke Ben Mee's left leg. All out of play. Bertrand found the control, and it's a throw to Burnley midway side of their own half and then inside. And well, it will be a bit of a debate. I mean, VAR has been brought in to clear up these silly, ridiculous decisions, and I don't think it's made a cat in hex of difference by the looks of it there. I mean, it will clear off all the offside debates and penalty debates, but they have to be checking all aspects of the game for it to really work. I mean, even the fans in the stadium all realised it was a red card. I've had a look at it 4 or 5 times. As the ball swinged in there, James Ward-Prowse played it in, and there was a poor clearance there by Tarkowski, but he did enough. Unfortunately for him, it found Gudmundsson. Now Barnes has it. He's lost out this time. Here's Stevens to Vestergaard for Southampton now. The last 10 minutes of the first half, about 9 minutes of the first half, I should say. Vestergaard chips the ball in. The flag stays down, but it's with Nick Pope inside the edge of his penalty area, about 5 yards from the edge of it. There is Valeri. Looked to dart in over on the far side, and the ball up towards Barnes very quickly, and Wood's onto it like a flash here. Jumping jack flash as he plays the ball, and it's a poor ball from Chris Wood. That was hideously poor, and he's given it straight to Ward-Prowse, who now gives it in turn to Nathan Redmond, who can't be found, and away goes Tarkowski again. Good defending by James Tarkowski. 37 minutes almost gone. It's Burnley 0, Southampton 0 in the Premier League at Turf 4. The game delayed, coming to you delayed of course on the JB Claret YouTube channel. And here goes Redmond. Good ball, good running there by him. Cuts inside. Always a danger when he gets on the ball. Clearance only half away, and Redmond has possession again. Finds Romeo. Good cross towards Bertrand, who heads on, but it's Nick Pope all the way. Collects inside his 6-yard area. Or on the edge of his 6-yard area. Just tells everyone just to calm down. Let's take the heat out of the situation a little bit. Good, sensible calming down there by the Burnley goalkeeper Nick Pope. And it's Burnley 0, Southampton 0. And about 7 minutes for stoppage time to go in the first half here at the turf. And here's Wood moving it on. Gudmundsson, Barnes has got some in form. Velvet again, the referee, who's had a highly controversial first half in my opinion, does not had a good game. The Oxfordshire ref Graham Scott did look a foul there on Ashley Barnes, but once again the referees some of the referees, certain referees are very seldom give Burnley any decision, let alone one. Rob Bataille is going to be the referee in the next game against Arsenal at the Emirates. Here's Bertrand now on the left hand side, so cuts inside and it's back over the halfway line of Vestergaard, and now the ball will go back showing here to Angus Gunn, who kicks away to the left of the D on the edge of the penalty area. Through the centre it goes. One quite beautifully there, the header by James Tarkowski, and then there's a foul there, which is, I think Bertrand is playing on the emotions a little bit there. Graham Scott of Oxfordshire, I think, has been bought by that, has been fooled by Bertrand's play acting there a little bit. It was Gudmundsson who was the culprit according to the referee. See if that's a foul. Well, he's play acting a little bit there. I'm sorry to say. I think that's an appalling decision from Mr. Scott. I think Bertrand is probably making a little bit of a meal of it. He is actually injured, but I think it's more than anything else. Ashley Barnes is furious because he felt he should have had a foul in the build-up beforehand. You know, Graham Scott from Oxford said just checking that it was just checking if it was a yellow card offence, which it wasn't. And I would be very amazed to see him booked for that, because I think Bertrand made a little bit of a meal of it. Okay, he's injured slightly, but not to the extent where he needed about 3 physios on. There's a little bump. I don't think Gudmundsson knew where it was. I think it would have been a stupid decision to book him there if that was the case. And Bertrand, he'll be okay. I think he just play acted a little bit there, personally. Anyway, free kick to Southampton. Probably given under false pretences. Anyway, here's Vestergaard with the free kick. And go forward and headed away once more, this time by Eric Peters. He's had a solid first half in Claret and Blue competitively. A lot of people questioned his signing, but I felt, even though it wasn't a spectacular big marquee signing, it was a useful signing for us because it, it gives Burnley that extra competition. Certainly at left back, where Stephen Ward had departed to Stoke City, ironically on a free. We've raided Stoke for one of theirs. It's an amazing statistic really, but he's got masses of Premier League experience, Peters, and he'll bring that to the party as a long ball forward and had a play on the far side for a throw-in to Southampton. So Peters, he's done alright. McNeil's been a bit quiet for me. I haven't seen too much of him really as an attacking force. What we were used to seeing, certainly in the back end of the season, where he was not afraid to take everybody on, and he's been flattering to deceive right now, actually, to be fair. And I mean, he's got to just get into the groove a little bit. I think he needs to have a big second half. We're inside the final 3.5 minutes, incidentally, of the first half, plus any stoppage time, as Romeo comes striding forward. But what a good tackle that was by Ben Mee. Did exceptionally well there, the new Burnley captain. And it is a throw-in, mind you, to Southampton. Edge of the 6-yard area for Burnley. And what can they make of this now, Southampton? Can they nick a goal before the half-time whistle? 3 minutes plus any time added on to go. Well crossed, but that's going to be Nick Pope's. Great pressure inside his 6-yard box and put it in. Absolutely no problem whatsoever. It's away right footed. I don't know halfway around it goes. Another one going in there towards, I think it was Chris Wood, I think, who tried to get the header in. Now Goodmanson picks it up on the right hand side, picks up the loose ball. We'll look to run at Bertrand, I would have thought. He's got inside, can't find Ashley Barnes. It wasn't the great ball there by the Icelandic international. He's kept that in, has he? Yes, says Andy Garrett, the near side official. Good eagle-eyed spot. He's been eagle-eyed, I think, in this first half. Both linesmen have been okay, but Bertrand has got acres of space here on this near side, oceans of space, and he looks to trick his man. Still gets it onto the right foot. Good effort and a good save by Nick Pope. A marvellous save right from Redmond. You can tell that he wants it more than any Southampton player on the field at the moment. He chased a lost cause here because this was drifted out. Burnley gave him too much space here on this near side. Cut him from the left and gets it onto the right foot, and he hits it to the left of the 6-yard box. It's a terrific effort from Rush, for a shot with some ferocity, but Nick Pope read it well and flicked it over the crossbar. It was a terrific save by the former Charlton goalkeeper. And it's a corner now. Ward-Prowse into the area. Romeo's flick, and it's gone right across the penalty box. And now to play with Burnley for a level with their own penalty area on the right-hand side. So we'll let off there, follow the Clarets. They should be playing against 10 men because Jay Adams should be having an early bath, really, after his horrible tackle on Ben Mee, which could have broke the Burnley captain's leg. Disgraceful tackle, and yet VAR should have dealt out what should have been, really, in my opinion, the correct punishment, which should have been a straight red card. But the referee, the VAR ref, decided to take the lenient view as Burnley look for a free kick and don't get it, to Ashley Barnes' frustration. Did look a foul on Ashley again, on Ashley Barnes, but I think Graham Scott is with him, many friends here around this ground. I don't know, I think it's maybe his decision sending a few of the locals, and I have to say one or two of the decisions that he's made have been quite questionable, and the VAR has been quite questionable as well. 20 seconds of normal time left at the end of the first half. Burnley 0, Southampton 0 is the score. There's Andy Garrett. The two linesmen in actual fact have not really put too much wrong. Anyway, we're 10 seconds away from Ross Joyce lifting his board to indicate how long we're going to have for stoppages, and I should stress it's a minimum of. We played the 45, played into towards Romeo. It comes to Barnes, who shoots over the top with his left foot to the left of the penalty spot, and it's into the cricket field, standing behind for a goal kick. We've got 3 added minutes. Ross Joyce has indicated 3 minutes. And of course we're going to get a little injury time, certainly at the end of first half, because of the certain games are going to have VAR decisions that are going to roll on for a few minutes. So we are going to get bigger chunks of stoppage time at the end of every half, and that's that will be noticeable throughout the season. And Stevens battles away there, coming towards 1 minute of the 3 played. It looks as if, unless there's something dramatic happens in the next 2 minutes, I think the most likely outcome here at half time is going to be goalless. We'll take a quick 5 to 10 minute break and then come back with full second half commentary of this crucial game between Burnley and Southampton, coming in, as I say, from Turf Moor, and it's always a cracking atmosphere in the game out today. Another player again on the near side. What conclusions can we draw from the first half? Well, plenty for Burnley to bear over. The debut of Eric Peters has gone very, very well, and I have to say that the VAR controversy, 2 decisions that have gone, big decisions that have gone against Burnley with the VAR. First of all, was it an offside goal? And the second one, which looked a more clear-cut decision on paper. The failure, even with the referee and the VAR ref, to send off Che Adams, it looked like a blatant red card offence. Well, that boggled my mind, and probably about 21,000 others in and amongst this vast arena here at Turf Moor. We've played 2 minutes of the 3 as Vestergaard takes another long throw-in. And even the Seagulls now are wide overhead. And here's Ashley Barnes trying to take possession, finds Cork, and they just lose their balance on a very wet surface here at the turf. One ball forward, and Nick Pope will be there. 30 seconds of stoppage time remain at the end of the first half, and looks as if now, barring accidents, we're going to have a goalless 0-0 at half time. Here's Gudmundsson to Cork. Clearance comes off Cork's anatomy and away, and Burnley still going for it at the end of the first half. We've got about 10 seconds of stoppage time. I should stress it's a minimum of 3. And Graham Scott now of Oxfordshire. And 1 or 2 words to say for Che Adams, who should be off the pitch. And he's going to get a huge... He's just been booed, Che Adams. He will be the match villain, there's no doubt about it. Now Ben Mee's having... he's calling Ben Mee over. I feel this is ridiculous. Sean Dyche is having a chat with the assistant on the far side, Neil Davis, and I have to say Neil Davis should have been in a much better position than Graham Scott. And if he's seen that as a red card and what we saw there, that angle we saw it on VAR was from that angle, then surely there was no other conclusion than a red card. Anyway, 40 seconds over the 3. Burnley have a free kick taken by Pope. A line of them forward as the ball goes into the area. There'll just be time for this. The ball will break away, and there goes the half-time whistle blown by Graham Scott, and 1 or 2 Southampton players getting the bird. Redmond has come close for Southampton. Gudmundsson's come close for Burnley, and Southampton will feel very, very lucky, and will feel very, very indebted to referee Graham Scott. Redmond's having a goal, but his team should be down to 10 men in my opinion, because the failure to send up Che Adams really looks like a horrible challenge. Okay, yes, it was 1-footed, but even if it's 1 or 2-footed, then that's a red card offence. But at the moment here, as the teams go up at Turf Moor, we're going to take a 10-minute break. Controversy here. Burnley should be playing against 10 men. Che Adams has survived, and it's Burnley 0, Southampton 0 at the break. Che Adams, in fact, at the start did have the first big chance in the game, which he missed, but at the moment it's 0-0. We're going to take a quick 5-10 minute break and prepare to join you for the second half very, very soon. See you after the break with the scoreline at half time. Burnley 0, Southampton 0. Welcome back to Turf Moor for the start of the second half. Burnley 0, Southampton 0. The main controversy, of course, was the decision, or an undecision, not to send off what looked like an instant red card for Che Adams midway through the first half. The team's out onto the tunnel. Nick Pope made a good save at the end of the first half from Nathan Redmond, who's probably been Southampton's brightest player, in my opinion, in the first half. Sean Dyche will have had plenty to say at half time. And the Ings would have been spawned with charges here at Turf Moor. Scored 26 goals to win Burnley promotion in 2014. Scored a number 10 in his last season at the club before bagging himself a move to Liverpool, but it didn't quite work out for him that time. Jack Cork and Graham Scott's having a little bit of a light-hearted bit of banter before the start. And it's going to be Burnley to get us away in the second period of the game. Both teams starting the same as before, as we see the great old side of Burnley, the old cotton mills and chimneys. It could almost be like Coronation Street in some respects as the second half kicks off. As I said, no changes from either side. The disappointing aspect of it is that Southampton really should be down to 10 men, but we'll try and talk a little bit less about that should anything happen. So Burnley kicking towards their favourite end, the Jimmy McElroy stand. Southampton kicking to where their supporters are based. That's the Field stand as Nick Pope picks the ball up inside his penalty area. Made one important save already in the second half, and he kicks away right-footed over the halfway line, but he finds only Romeo. His attempt to target Cork was nowhere. Here's McNeil. Needs a better second half from him, actually. Lovely chest control there by Wood. No handball. Oh, he's giving it for hands. Well, I felt that was chest. I felt that was chest from Chris Wood, unless he was offside. A minute gone, it's still 0-0, but let's have a look at that again. I thought he used his chest, unless he was offside as the ball was played. He made a decent little break down that near side. I'd like to see that again on replay. Let's have a look. I'm just looking at it again. Peters' ball forward, and in fact, yes, Wood was just offside. He was about half a yard off. So maybe the linesman there, which was Neil Davis. Good decision by him there as the ball is spread back to Angus Gunn. Gunn kicks away. Giants only halfway, and in came Tarkowski with a huge leap there at halfway to get the ball back towards the Southampton penalty area where there's nobody in carbon blue with intent. He was the subject of a move to Leicester during the summer, which never materialised, just because of the way the other transfer thing with Harry Maguire just seemed to drag on. Sean Dyche looking impassively on. He'll be glad to have kept Tarkowski. His Palace will be relieved to have kept hold of their better player, Wilf Zaha. He's talking big moving to Everton or Arsenal during the summer, but they managed to keep him during the window. They play Everton right now. Never is the score now as the ball is played back. It was almost an aberration there. And the ball actually is run out of play. Bednarek making the mistake. Back making the mistake. Halfway inside the Southampton half, taken there, but comes to Barnes. Now Peters in a bit of space in the centre of the park. 25 yards out, tries it with his left foot and just gets it a little bit wrong, and it goes over the top for a goal kick. Ashley Barnes again involved. He's not really had too much to feed off Ashley yet. But he's the sort of player that can drift into a game, that can drift in and out of a game for a good hour, and then he'll come up with one flash of pure genius and bang, he's well in it again. Another good leap there from Tarkowski again and halfway. Benme to win the second ball. The ball was knocked back, and here's Peters. Terrific talent. And there's the flag up again against the Barnes, was it? No, the flag stayed down. In fact, it was Wood who stayed onside this time. I was expecting the linesman's flag there to go up any second. And it wasn't, and now it's been given away to Valeri, and Valeri now can trot over halfway, but back again by Tarkowski. He's had a marvellous match so far. I really think his performances are always appreciated, certainly in these circles. Valeri gets it away once again. Very much still a melting pot at the moment. As the ball goes charging forward once again, that's a foul. Kick against Burnley. Graham Scott there in the way. Ward-Prowse as the man fell. Caught there, just taking him out there. Just on halfway. Just on the left of the right of the centre circle as Southampton attacking the second half. Remember, they're attacking the goal down to our right hand side. Vestergaard, no, Stevens rather hits a long ball out towards the far side, and Redmond put in a lovely cross. Here's for a corner, I think, has been given. Redmond, when he gets into that position on the far side, he's a very tough customer. Certainly, if they were going to claim handball, they'd have been sadly mistaken, because it wasn't never a handball. Anyway, here's a corner. And he's working with intent in the 6-yard area for any knockdowns in the penalty area. Going to be Bertrand to take from the right hand side, right in front of the Southampton fan spot, near side into the 6-yard area it went, and there was a bit of a scramble, still not away yet. Redmond and Adams trying to knock it back into the danger zone, but Burnley deal with it okay. And in fact, Jack Cork did magnificently well, and just as I say that, he gives the ball straight to Ward-Prowse. Commentator's curse, if you like. Here's Redmond now, trying to get in on that left foot, and he goes down, and that's going to be a free kick. Tarkowski tripping him up, and a free kick right on the edge of the penalty box, inside the D, just to the right of centre. Ooh, that was too close for comfort for Burnley. It's going to be Redmond and Bertrand, you can bet your bottom dollar, and they're going to be over this set piece. About 6.5 minutes, sorry, of the second half here at Turf. And it still remains goalless. Ward-Prowse, Bertrand, and Redmond himself, a three-man committee. And let's see what they can cook up here now. That's a great opportunity. If we do score from this, well, vulnerable. Certainly have a lot to say about that. It's going to be Bertrand and Redmond over the free kick. It might be tailor-made for the left foot of Bertrand here. So, just in case you're wondering, he's still 0-0. And Southampton taking a royal time over this. Right of centre, on the edge of the D. Prowse, Redmond or Bertrand. Well, Prowse is going to leave it. It's Bertrand with the left foot, and it's over the top. Narrowly missing the angle of the left hand post and crossbar. And a goal kick. And Burnley will be relieved about that. It would have been all their own making that time. Decent free kick. I think Nick Pope would have had it covered all the way in any case. It was a free kick with some ferocity by the former England international. It just wasn't going to dip down in time, so that was a mistake there. Oh, well, not a mistake. And here's Chris Wood onto it. Wood with a shot into the side netting, right hand side netting. He hit it towards the right of the six-yard box, but the angle was very acute, and he hits it into the side netting, and it goes behind for a goal kick. So both teams have had a chance apiece within 60 seconds. Bertrand with a free kick at one end, which just cleared the crossbar, and then from a long goal kick from Nick Pope, He found Chris Wood onside, hit it with a right foot, and hit it into the right hand side netting. And if that had gone in by some coincidence, that would have been a Nick Pope assist as well. But that wouldn't have been a bad statistic for Nick Pope on his first Premier League appearance in over 15 months. Okay, of course, played against Bournemouth. 2 games against Southampton were draws last season. Not a year ago at St Mary's on opening day. Burnley really should have won that game. They dominated it for large periods, and then that controversial 1-1 draw, Burnley should really have won as well, but for the referee, the appalling referee, and Mr Anthony Taylor that afternoon. We have 54 gone here at the Turf, and no goals yet to bring you. And the game delayed, coming to you for the first time this season from Turf Moor. The ball comes in from the left hand side and it's hooked away by Vestergaard for Southampton. Now then, a chance for Peters maybe to try his luck. No, he tried to play it in towards Chris Wood and Ashley Barnes, but now there's a break on here, and Jay Adams couldn't find it from Redmond. It was good defending from Tarkowski, a little bit on the fortuitous side. I think the way Tarkowski has played today, I think he deserves a little bit of luck. Still 0-0 in this crucial game in the Premier League. A game that both teams could do with winning, because the next 2 or 3 games, both teams have got it really tough in the next 3 games. Certainly Burnley, going to go to Arsenal next Saturday lunchtime, and then they've got to play Wolves the week after that, and then at the end of the month it's Liverpool at the Turf. And here's Cork on the break down the left hand side, well policed there by Bednarek. One centre half. No flag up there against Jack Cork, and here goes Peters. Has he kept that in? No, he hasn't. And that's a goal kick. A little bit poor there from Cork. It's a nice idea in the first place, but that's too much of Eric Peters. He's having a good game down the left hand side, it's going to be said. 11 minutes gone in the second half, and we're still waiting for the first goal here at the Turf. And it's really good. Hopefully Burnley can get that opening and lead to the first goal. But the more as the second half's gone on, the more they've started to get into it a bit more, Burnley. They've really, dare I say it, they're looking back to their old selves from 18 months ago when they were winning games 1-0 and being very cautious and very robust and cautious and not giving too much away in defence. Me and Tarkowski were putting bodies on the line, and Nick Pope was making magnificent saves. It's going back to those times again. Southampton played down, and it's number 9 Danny Ings who's taken one for the Southampton team. Quite a number of cheers there for Danny Ings as the ball is crossed in, and it's off the defender, and Burnley have a corner with 57 minutes gone. Danny Ings, to be fair, has got back up. No play active from this fella. He knows how tough it was when he was under Sean Dyche here. Burnley, first corner of the game. It's come after 57 minutes. Tarkowski and me both forward. Here comes the corner. Floated in there towards Tarkowski, who got a head on it, and it falls very kindly there for Angus Gunn before Chris Wood could get in there inside the 6-yard area. But Southampton will be a little bit annoyed there, because they allowed Tarkowski to win that header quite easily. It was almost a 3-header, but Tarkowski got it wrong. He scored against Fulham a year ago, against Fulham and Watford, more in losing causes. Burnley never won a game competitively in August. They lost and drew their Europa League knockout tie against Olympiacos. They were robbed actually, Greece and buried away. And they drew against Southampton on the opening day, and then lost to Watford and lost to Fulham, which never helped cause. But there we go. Still cracking atmosphere, there's no doubt about that. Match days is always a pleasure, but here's a chance for Redmond, who hits this shot over the crossbar. From behind for a goal kick. It is a real opportunity. And well, there we go. Redmond hitting his shot just to the left there. Over the top. And Ralph Rosenherdel. I'll be delighted, but I'm not so happy really, because some of these approach play has been okay, but not been good enough. Gunn hits it a bit up and under here as we go into the 59th minute of the game. Still 0-0. Here's McNeil now on the left hand side. Peters is making a run on the overlap, and he's found Peters, and he's done really well, the former Stoke man. Done terrifically well there, the Dutchman. It's come now to Danny Ings now on the right hand side for Burnley. Given away once again. Lowton takes possession now and plays a ball down the right hand channel, but Gunn taking just inside his penalty area to the right of the D. Inside the penalty area, or to the right of his 6-yard box. Well, we're coming up towards an hour and still no sign of any breakthrough yet. And getting to the stage now, I wonder here as Che Adams comes forward. A man really that should be sent off, should be changed in his suit or a tracksuit, and we're watching this from the stands. We're in the dressing room, Robert. There's a long ball looking towards Parks, cut out there by Stevens. Now Ward-Prowse to get it away. We've had an hour, still 0-0. Burnley 0, Southampton 0 here. An hour gone, according to official timekeepers of the Premier League, Tag Heuer. Here's Redmond now for Southampton. Ward-Prowse now for Southampton, still inside his own half. Plays it back to Bednarek. Bednarek to the far side where Ryan Bertrand is there. No substitutes yet used by either Sean Dyche or Ralph Rosenherdel. It's been that sort of a match really, in a lot of respects. Still 0-0 and the game delayed. Now long ball forward, but surely Valeri was offside, but he isn't offside as the ball played into the 6-yard area. And thankfully there was nobody in the Southampton shirt, but he is now. Bertrand knocks the ball back looking for Ward-Prowse, and Ward-Prowse misses it. Probably put off by 2 Burnley players incidentally. Now McNeil, good skills by McNeil, pass 2, pass 3. Now Westwood takes over and then plays a woeful ball away as McNeil tried to get in there behind, but Dwight McNeil, best we've seen him so far as an attacking force. We've had to wait 61 minutes for him to really explode into this game. Very rare he has an off day, Dwight McNeil. He's missed the consistency for when he went into the team around about the turn of the year and didn't stop performing. Here comes Southampton, still looking for a way back into this. Here's Valeri on the right hand channel, battling with Peters, and he brought Peters down. That's a free kick. Peters has hurt himself as well. The injury is nothing to do with Valeri, although he did tug him back, so that's why the free kick was given. Seen again on the replay. Yeah, clear shirt tug there. There's no two ways about that. Just quite appallingly really that's happened, but there you go. Nothing too shockingly done there. No harm done, so it still remains 0-0 here, Premier League. Nick Pope now to take the free kick on the near side, the Burnley left. Almost in line with the edge of the Burnley penalty area on the left hand side, our near side as we look. Up by the Hargreaves stand. And the free kick came to nothing, the ball in the air a little bit. Peters with an up and under with his left foot, and it's swirling away in the wind and barging through after a mistake by Vestergaard. Right foot scores! Ashley Barnes has done it for Burnley! They needed a goal, we've got a goal, and it's come from the right foot, the trusty, faithful right foot of Ashley Barnes. 1-0. Turf Moor is in raptures, and the cheers and the songs are for a man they christened on the terraces, Aye Ashley Barnes. A mistake by the defender was caught up by the swirling clearance by Eric Peters, Left foot clearance. Vestergaard was nowhere near it. The wind may have helped a little bit. But there was some kamikaze goalkeeping as well from Gunn, because when Barnes hits this and he hits it true, it goes right under Angus Gunn's legs. If he keeps his leg closed, he saves that. That has to go down as a goalkeeping error inside the area just about. As he hits it, it goes into the central area of the goal. And Ashley Barnes gives Burnley the lead after 63 minutes. Just what the doctor ordered for Burnley. And you know, with 3 tough games to come in the rest of the month, that 3 points will be very welcome. They had to wait until September before their first win. But they're on the way now to the first win on the opening day. And they haven't done that since Chelsea, as the cross comes in. And it's knocked away by Southampton. No. But Burnley stick and twist. If they stick, they'll stick at this and defend this 1-0 lead. If they twist, they could go 2 up. But then risk being caught on the counter-attack by Southampton. Burnley have won a throw-in, almost in line with the edge of the Southampton 6-yard area. Eric Peters will get the assist, albeit wind assisted. There's the boy to the area. Woody's lacking again. So too was Barnes. Did well there. Westwood chips the ball in, and the flag is up for offside. In fact, it's gone out anyway for a goal kick. 65 minutes gone, and Burnley have that breakthrough they so desperately wanted, and we're going to see a substitution now. Off comes Danny Ings. On his place comes Obafemi. Danny Ings actually getting a good reception from the Burnley fans as well. Obafemi, actually of an Irish descent. As Angus Gunn takes the free kick, or the goal kick I should say, and the ball headed forward, and now a chance for Obafemi to see what he can do. In fact, the foul there has been given. Redmond was the man in fact fouled. Obafemi was a bit further forward than what I estimated. But one thing is for certain, it is a free kick. So Burnley have got some defensive metal to perform here. So the last 24 minutes of the match, plus stoppage time. Burnley 1, Ashley Barnes with the goal. Southampton 0 is the score. Free kick floated into the danger zone by James Ward-Prowse, headed away by me on the edge of his own 6-yard area. Obafemi has it, tries to turn. The shot comes in on, it was Romeo I think with the shot, and before Che Adams could get in there, Ben Mee made sure that he couldn't go any further. It's a goal kick to Burnley. 66.5 minutes played. Burnley 1, Southampton 0. What a scoreline that is for the claret and blue persuasion here of Turf Moor. And I couldn't write any scripts for this. As Burnley charge forward again, it's Matt Lowton using his skill to get away from Redmond and actually transfixing back. Burnley won a free kick. Gudmundsson, the man tagged, free kick to the Clarets. A silly foul there by Nathan Redmond. 23 minutes plus stoppage time to go. We're inside the final quarter of the game, halfway through the second half. 67 minutes played. Burnley 1, Southampton 0. A nice bonus if Burnley could get a second here. Tarkowski with a free kick on the far side. Gets it out towards the edge of the area. Knocked away this time by Bednarek. The ball out of play on the near side. It will be a Southampton throw-in. Looking it out. He's in a solid game today, Ben Mee. The amount of stick I gave him last season when he was captain for half the season, before Tom Eaton came into the fold, was unbelievable. But I think he's learned his lesson from last season. I think he'll probably do okay. Going back to Nick Pope. He's got Nick Pope behind him as well. That sometimes always makes a difference. And I don't mean any malice to Joe Hart, but he wasn't used to the way Burnley was set up, which may have added to the problems in the early part of the season. And there were certain times where you could use the Europa League as an excuse for Burnley last season, but not all the time. Anyway, Romeo gets the ball out towards Valeri, but oh, he's got away here. Oh, good tackle. Dwight McNeil initially missed a header from the original crossfield ball to Valeri, but then he stuck close to him like glue. Now he's won the ball again. Valeri can't get away, and look at this. This is the Dwight McNeil we know and love, trying to scoot past defenders. And he's found Jack Cork on the left-hand side. He's a little bit isolated and a bit boxed in, so he's gone back quite rightly to Peters, now back to me. And then to combine to play 1 or 2 1-2s. Now Tarkowski to Lowton on the right hand side, the far side as I look. Lowton playing it in there towards Ashley Barnes, a bit more central. And now it's back on the right, and it's back into the centre again. Jack Cork now inside the Southampton half, and it's Peters now in Oceans of space to the left of the penalty area if he can get a cross in. And the ball in there, and Barnes is on Mike, and Barnes in there with the right foot into the left hand corner. 2 goals in 5 minutes by Ashley Barnes, and Burnley double their money to 2-0. Magnificent goal. And a magnificent cross. Same combination as the first goal. No offside. They were checking it with VAR, as they do with everything as regards the incidents of the game. There's the cross from the left-hand side. A terrific cross, and into the left-hand corner it goes. The brilliant volley from Ashley Barnes. And Ashley Barnes makes it 2-0 to Burnley. And Sean Dyche, he looks ashen-faced from his expression, but inside he must be thrilled to bits. 2 for Barnes, 2 for Burnley, 0 to Southampton. 20 minutes remain. And it's going to be a long job for Southampton now, as Ward-Prowse gets it away now for the Saints. So a 2-0 down, and haven't really recovered from the concession of the first. Now they've got a free kick given against them, foul on Tarkowski by Nathan Redmond. Well, it's all happening here. All happening here. It's an atmosphere now, a terrific atmosphere. And as you can hear in the background, it's Ashley Barnes, the tune of Coming Round the Mountains. Here's the free kick by Nick Pope, right footed towards the aforementioned Ashley Barnes, and now McNeil on the left hand side, trying to take on 2 Saints defenders. Managed to get a low cross in, but it's knocked away by Jack Stevens for Southampton. 19 to play, plus up his time, and Burnley now find themselves in a very commanding position. Usually when they go 1 up in a game, they usually stick rather than twist, but they've twisted and it's come up good, and they might even twist again, but they've got it to Wood again. Wood off the defender, but the ball there was back in there. Oh, and there was a little flick in there, almost throwing in Barnes. Tell you what, Barnes is on a hat-trick now, and in a lot of respects this is a very comfortable lead now for Burnley. Southampton, really, apart from about 10 minutes into the second half, have offered next to nothing really. They've got a free kick however, but offside given. Maybe some justices have been done from the undecision in the first half when Che Evans should have been sent off. By the way, he should have been for that horrid tackle on Ben Mee, which could have broke the lad's leg. Meanwhile, we're going to see a double substitution. We're going to see Pierre Højbjerg. He's going to be placing, looks like Jack Stevens to me. So Højbjerg takes his place, Danish international. We're also going to see another change as well. We're going to see, what we're seeing here, off comes Che Adams, who should be sent off, not sent on. And we're going to see Buffal take his place now. Southampton use all their 3 aces, see if they can get back into this game. It's going to be a tall order, even with Højbjerg now taking over the captaincy from James Ward-Prowse. It's going to be a tall, as I say, a tall, very tall order for them now. 1-2 up and very much coasting now. Third one was certainly killed the game off as a contest now. And still about 17 minutes of the game left to play as Ben Mee heads a long ball away. Cork does well. Burnley yet to make a substitute. I'll just remind you of the substitutes they have left. They have got at their disposal quite a number of good teams. It's a stronger bench than it has been in recent games. You've got Joe Hart in the goals. And then it's Ben Gibson. I look at two very sudden Burnley fans, but they're enjoying their day, I'm sure. Joe Hart, the goalkeeper, should God forbid get injured. Ben Gibson, the centre back, Phil Barsley, the right back, Kevin Long, the centre back, Jeff Henrik, central midfield, Aaron Lennon, winger, and up front that the hometown boy, as I always call him, Jay Rodriguez. Just have a look at the Southampton fans. I glance towards the Southampton fans. They must be absolutely frustrated. They've travelled a long way. Burnley have had a lot more possession in the second half. They've had 59% possession for Southampton's 41, which tells you how dominant they've been. And Gunnarsson has nicked the ball now down the right hand side. He cuts inside, hits it left footed, and he's taken the left hand corner of the net. European Gunnarsson gets ready 3-0. Game, set and match to Burnley. And surely even with a quarter of an hour just over to play, there's no coming back from this now for Southampton. They're furious because they thought there was a foul in the build-up. I'm sure VAR will check it, but it looked a perfectly good challenge to me by Gunnarsson as he took the ball. There's the ball, it's hanging in the air. Vestergaard's header. They're saying that Bertrand was fouled. No way was he fouled. And the referee was right to play on. And Gunnarsson cut inside from the right hand side into the penalty area. He went on his left foot and side foots it with his left foot into the left hand corner of the net. And that, I'm pleased to say, surely barring accident, is game, set and match to Burnley, even with a quarter of an hour. And the goal has been given, and so VAR would have made absolutely no difference because Gunnarsson got the ball from Bertrand very, very cleanly. And Burnley for once benefit from a VAR decision, even though it was blatantly obvious that Gunnarsson got the ball fairly. So Burnley 3, Southampton 0, and that should be that now as far as the contest is concerned. It's just a question now of Burnley, will they want to stop at 3 or will they going to go for 4? It's not often we see Burnley score 3 in a game. It's usually 1 or 2-0 they win by, or the odd 3-2. But a clean sheet now would be the order of the day now from Sean Dyche. Remember, they kept a lot of clean sheets 2 years ago when they finished in the dizzy heights of 7th position. And London Barnes were banging in goals, and Tarkowski, me and Pope were keeping clean sheets until they were coming out their ears. It's 3-0 now, and the ball laid in there towards Valeri, but again a fantastic challenge there from Dwight McNeil, who's actually played a lot better in this second half, if I'm being totally upfront and honest with you guys. He's had a super game. Ward-Prowse playing it in, McNeil heading it out for a corner. That was great defending there by the youngster. Also a Burnley lad, a hometown boy, a local lad too. Ward-Prowse with a corner on the right hand side into the penalty area, headed out going as far as Bertrand, and here goes Redmond, who hasn't stopped running. Neither has Gunnarsson, and I have to say, reward for persistence there. A bold statement of intent here from Burnley. They caught Southampton napping 3 times, and all 3 times in the second half they punished them. 3 goals in a 12-minute period in the second half has really decided the things here at the turf this afternoon, and it might be more here because Wood is in pursuit, and Bednarek will knock it out for a throw almost level with the edge of the Southampton penalty area on the far side. Just hooks it right towards the back of the Bob Lord stand for a throw in there to Burnley, as I say, in line with the Southampton edge of the Southampton penalty box. Well, it has been a remarkable afternoon's entertainment here in the wind and the rain here at Turf Moor. Typical Burnley weather, and Burnley playing to their strengths, playing to the conditions, and Southampton are not really used to these sort of conditions. The hills and the valleys right on this Lancashire. Oh, the mistake by the defender. Barnes is in, angle is tight. Shrew tries to shoot from a right angle, which sort of died on him a bit. And in fact, I think Gunn might have just got back and recovered just in a nick of time here and saved Southampton from going forward. Down he goes past Gunn. He's got options in the centre if he chose to pull it back, but he is on a hat-trick. And in the end, I think it would have took a lot there. There was a man on the line as well, Bednarek, but even so, it was Højbjerg who played the pass. It was a terribly poor one. It's got to be said anyway. Burnley, all they get for that is a corner, but he might still profit from this. Here's the corner, floated in towards the area. Ben Mee's up there with Tarkowski, and it's another corner, second in succession for the Clarets. Or is it? It's a goal kick, and Tarkowski, look at the way they want to run back. They know, message me and Tarkowski, that there's a clean sheet here to protect, and they want to keep that sheet from clean for as long as they can. They've got another 11 minutes plus the additional stoppage time to just hold out and keep the clean sheet and keep it maybe at 3-0, but Burnley will have other chances. We're going to see some substitutions surely in the next few minutes. Will we see J-Rod back at the turf in a bit? Be a nice occasion once he does come on, J. Rodriguez. So many important goals in his first spell. The most memorable was the third goal in that never really forgotten Carling Cup semi-final of 2009 when we had to come, Burnley had to pull back a 4-1 deficit. He got it back to 4-all. Unfortunately, Tottenham scored 2 late extra time goals to stop Burnley from going to Wembley that season in the League Cup. But of course, we went on to win the playoffs. And that's the way it has always been. Burnley, very good value for their 3-0 lead, and I don't think there's any arguments about that. Burnley 3-0 ahead. And in complete control. Inside the final 10 minutes we'll get reaction from the main players involved after the game, so we'll get the post-match reaction today. Delayed coverage of the game, and then we'll just round up all the other scores from the weekend as well. Plenty of live football to come in midweek. We'll tell you about at the end of the programme as Tarkowski wins the tackle on the edge of the penalty area, and he does exceptionally well, exceedingly well. And I've got to tell you, Burnley have played the game to the letter. They have been absolutely exceptional. They've been absolutely superb, and that is absolutely phenomenal. But they've conceded a corner here, Burnley. James Ward-Prowse to take it. We've had 81 minutes gone, and he's having problems with the corner flag now, James Ward-Prowse. Oh dear, so he's moved the ball back a bit further along the quadrant now, right to the byline, and in line with the quadrants as the corner comes in, and they all went for it. There was half appeal for handball, and the ball comes back, and a great save at the near post from Nick Pope. I think Vestergaard cut the shot off in the end, and Nick Pope, positioned very well at the near post, was there, and it was Vestergaard he denied just to the left of the 6-yard area, inside the 6-yard area. And what about that for skill? Excellent skill there by Johan Gudmundsson. He's got McNeil up ahead of him, but he couldn't find him there. But a nice little bit of release there for Burnley as they look to preserve this 3-goal lead. The ball's out of play on the far side. We're going to see some substitutions surely in a few moments from now as Burnley look to now try and make sure. And look at this, J. Rodriguez. What a reception he's going to get in a second. Aaron Lennon, the other player, about to come on as well. Off comes Ashley Barnes, 2-goal hero today. He's playing magnificently well. He too will get a standing ovation, I'm sure, when he comes off in a second. It's all being sorted out by Ross Joyce, the fourth official here. And they'll wait a little longer, but I know Ashley Barnes will be one of the two coming off. That is a certainty. He will not get his hat-trick today unless he gets it before the substitution is made. We're coming up towards the 83rd minute. That's going to be Nick Pope's, and his good interception, just hooks it into the Bob Lord stand for a throw-in. In fact, just shy of halfway. He got good distance on that, Nick Pope. So J. Rodriguez, the second coming competitively here at Turf Moor. Left 7 years ago to play for Southampton. Had 3 or 4 years there. Had a couple at West Bromwich Albion, including a great goal tally in the Championship last year. He replaces Ashley Barnes. big smile from him. I hope for also for Aaron Lennon, for Ashley Barnes. But Jay Rodriguez getting a standing ovation on his second coming here at Turf Moor, and they've welcomed him back with open arms. And also there's another substitution taking place, I must add. Dwight McNeil, not had his better, he's had better days than this, but he had a better second half. I don't think there's much doubt about that. First half he was a bit in and out. Second half he started to come to the party a little bit, but Aaron Lennon, who can still offer the Premier League something even at 31, 32 years old, will come on for the remaining 6 minutes plus time added on. 6 minutes to play then. Burnley still lead. Southampton 3-0. In fact, the throw is now, in fact, went out halfway inside the Burnley half, and not as far as I thought Nick Pope had hit it out at, actually. So there we go. Gudmundsson, he's had a magnificent game, and his persistence has really paid off for him big time. A fair goal, and he's absolutely deserved that. And who can blame him? 3-0. And surely the game is up now for Southampton. Here's Rodriguez getting his first touch, and he wins the throw to quite a large cheer from the Burnley crowd, who have really seen something spectacular. Just to see him back in a Burnley shirt is happiness in itself. A mere £10 million. They paid 5 up front, Burnley, and 5 in 12 months time. I think they got a very good deal out of that, and Rodriguez is still 29, 30 years old, so they could still get two of the biggest peak years of a footballer's career out of him. And if they do that, and he chips in with a load of goals to add to the goals that Wood and Barnes usually get, they get about 10 apiece every season, then Burnley could really find themselves certainly with as an outsider, maybe for a Europa League spot, if they stay injury free and stay fit and they get the results against the other teams around them. It's not going to define their season, the results against the likes of Arsenal and Liverpool, and against the likes of Southampton. These are the sort of games they ought to be winning. Maybe against the bottom 10 teams, the likes of Sheffield United, the likes of Aston Villa, the likes of several other big teams, big teams around them. West Ham as well. They've got thumped early today, 5-0 by a very rampant Manchester City. They're going to take some stopping, but Burnley have been completely rampant in the second half. 4 minutes to go, and Ralph Musanerto puffs out his cheeks. Knows his team, certainly in the second half, have been outfought, outclassed, and out-butchered by Ashley Barnes and Johan Berg Gudmundsson. And of course the wind has played its part, but I'm sure the Southampton lads will not want to use that as an excuse. They know the conditions, they know the deal. When they come to Turf Moor, the conditions are always going to be very difficult to play against here. Certainly when you've got the moors surrounding the stadium and hills, it's high on hills. We're in Lancashire, not flat land down on the south coast now. And Burnley making good use of the weather conditions and the good use of the advantage of the wind. And Southampton had the same opportunities in the first half, but just didn't take the chances. Jay Adams should have been sent off earlier on, but that now does not, it's not going to come back and matter too much now over the bigger picture. But because the bigger picture now is that with 2 goals for Ashley Barnes as Pope takes the free kick, looking towards Jay Rodriguez, but out and gone just to see it out and shepherd it out for a corner, for a goal kick, sorry. And then one from Johan Berg Gudmundsson. I've seen Burnley well over the finishing tape with minutes and seconds to, well, with lots of minutes and lots of seconds to spare. And if this was a 10,000 metre race, then Southampton will be about 800 metres behind Burnley at the moment down the track. Let's face it, in the second half Burnley have been streets ahead, and if it was a boxing match the referee would have been compelled to stop the contest. And that's not biasness as talking, because I am a self-confessed claret, but I'm speaking purely as a realist here, and based on what I've seen. And Southampton, looking at the body language of them, look a well-beaten side. They did look good in spells in the first half, we'll give them that, but in the second half Burnley really, from the probably about the 50th minute onwards, Burnley really took control of it Eric Peters, 2 assists on debut for him. Okay, one was wound assisted, but the second assist was a perler across from the left hand side, and Barnes controlled it magnificently on the volley. As we see a wonderful blonde lady there trying to shelter away underneath a flag or a piece of claret tarpaulin. As the throw is taken, we're inside the last 90 seconds of normal time, which is beautiful, I have to say, that bomb run. All Burnley fans are very, certainly the female ones are very good looking. As the boys back by Bednarek with a torrid time with a back three. Stevens, Vestergaard and Bednarek, they've just been nowhere. Hoybier hasn't done much since coming on, almost gifting Ashley Barnes his hat-trick. But really it's been an open and shut second half really for Burnley, and they've been, I have to say, good value for their 3-0 victory, or their 3-0 result. And we'll get reaction from both managers and a couple of the other stars as Werman's crosses, and that's a good ball in, but Obafemi can't reach it. And now the ball back out to Ward-Prowse on the edge of the area, just to the right of the D. Back to Valeri again, right foot across from the right hand side. The ball a little bit up and under. Pope comes out, gets nowhere near it, and collides with his own defender Ben Mee as a consequence. It is a Southampton corner for all that, but I think we can allow them a little error or two there, because they played out their skins, both Ben Mee and Nick Pope. A little bit of a comedy moment to finish the afternoon off with there. Southampton look to try and pull a consolation goal back now at the end of the piece as Ward-Prowse winds up the corner, back to, oh dear, and it, it was almost a kamikaze goal. He involved Buffal slipping, and in the end it was hit over the top by who got the shot there, but it was hit over the top anyway. It might have been yeah, it might have been Obier who hit that over the top anyway. It's a goal, regardless of which, it's a goal kick anyway. Burnley 3, Southampton 0. Nick Pope with the kick. We have 3 added minutes. 3 added minutes has been signalled by 4th official Josh Joyce, and we've had 40 minutes of the first of the 3. And it looks as if now it's just a question of just dotting out the I's, crossing the T's, and Burnley's seen the result now over the line. As they look to get off to a good start. As things stand at the moment, they would go 4th in the table at this moment in time. But it's been a very good performance from Burnley. I think in the second half especially. Ashley Barnes, in my opinion, if you were having a poll for a JB man in a match, not that we're going to have one here because that only applies to live matches, and then I think a lot of people would have said Ashley Barnes would win the award purely and simply because of his 2 goals. So I think Ashley Barnes, I think he's got the main man in the match, and he's got the sponsors man in the match. Quick word about the sponsors man in the match this season down at Turf Moor. They used to win a bottle of champagne after every game. Now they win a bottle of Benedictine. And Benedictine, in case you're not from Burnley and not familiar with the parts around Burnley, is a drink that is a liqueur drink that back in the 18th century actually was invented in the town. So it is a bit of a Burnley tradition. So Benedictine, a bottle of Benedictine, because Ashley Barnes has just been announced as the sponsors man of the match. 1 minute of the 3 to go then at the end of, it's been a very satisfying second half if you're a Burnley fan, and it's been good to watch too, I've got to say. So 3-0 is the score. Of course we'll get some reaction, of course, from the main protagonists involved at the end. Don't forget, this is a rerun of the game, as we see James Tarkowski. The smile is on his face. A lot of people thought he might do what he did at Brentford when he was linked with a move to Turf Moor at the time and go on strike. Not a bit of it. His professionalism has shone through, and I think he's enjoying his football at the moment. As Pope takes the free kick in there again. Oh, he almost came there to Chris Wood. In fact, he was offside anyway, Wood. 4 seconds and the stoppages to go, and Burnley, good value for their 3-0 victory. And the kick taken by Angus Gunn. Long clearance, and there goes the whistle to end the match. What a performance from Burnley. 3-0 winners over Southampton, and very good value for it. And maybe for once, justice in this crazy game has been done, because Southampton, let's face it, should have been down to 10 men after about 28 minutes when Che Adams could have broken Burnley's leg, and he got away with a VAR decision not to send him off. But Burnley put all that injustice to right in the second half. 2 quick fire goals from Ashley Barnes, 2 in 5 minutes. Gudmundsson added one in the 74th minute to make absolute. Barnes spurned the chance of a hat-trick, but Burnley off to a great start, and considering what they've got to come in terms of the next 3 fixtures, they go away at Arsenal, away at Wolves and at home to Liverpool, then that's a great start. But Southampton, the month could be a lot tougher for them with games against Liverpool and Manchester United at home to come. But it's Burnley who take the spoils, and they've beaten Southampton very comprehensively, I must say, by 3-0. As the teams now make their way off, Burnley, as I say, at this moment in time will go into 4th, and they get a standing ovation. But Southampton, a well-beaten team, and their supporters will go home very disappointed indeed. It won't be a long journey, 400 or so mile journey back to the south coast for them, but it's a win for Burnley. They're off to a flyer. Winners today by 3-0. Let's just recap the first goal. The 3 goals for you. First one, wind assisted, long ball from Peters, finding Barnes, hits it right foot under Gunn's legs, through Gunn's legs in fact, into the net. That came after 62 minutes. 5 minutes later, great cross from the left hand side from Peters, and a terrific volley with the right foot by Ashley Barnes into the left hand corner, made it 2-0. And then the third goal, a great interception there by Gudmundsson. Southampton wrongly appearing it was a foul. VAR checked it and it was correct, and Gudmundsson proceeded to put it in the left hand corner, and that gives Burnley a terrific start, and they win the game by 3-0. Yes, and a terrific performance it was on Saturday as well, and a great performance. That's why we didn't get any commentaries on Saturday, because we had this special match lined up. And apologies to those who didn't hear the third goal at Old Trafford yesterday in our live match between Manchester United and Chelsea. I can only apologise, we had an error with the live feed. But a great performance anyway from Burnley, 3-0. They have dropped to 5th place though since Manchester United won 4-0. So, as I say, we'll look over the last few moments, results with that. But let's see if we can get a bit of reaction as well, because obviously we've seen what's happened. We saw what happened the other day. Let's see if we can get some reaction to this. Burnley, of course, winning by 3-0 today, and they were good value for their victory as well. So let's see if we can get some reaction to that. We're hoping to get some reaction, but at the moment we're struggling to find something at the moment. But one thing's for certain, we've enjoyed our covers. We'll try and hear from some of the protagonists. I don't think we'll be able to hear from Ralph Hudson now. I don't think it would be appropriate really to discuss that. Let's stick with Burnley, the victors today, and we'll get a longer version. We're going to hear later on from Johan Berg Gudmundsson and from Ashley Barnes as well, and in fact we're going to hear from first of all Sean Dyche, then Eric Peters, then Gudmundsson, and then finally the pièce de résistance, Ashley Barnes. So we're going to have plenty of interviews to bring you now, certainly from Burnley's point of view, and of course all the protagonists. So let's get some reaction first, and we're going to start with the Burnley gaffer Sean Dyche, and how he was delighted the way we played this on Saturday afternoon. Here he is now speaking with Darren Bell.
But overall, I think really today's kind of the end of a very strong pre-season. I think the spoken a lot about. It doesn't guarantee things, but what you do, you're trying to push the odds in your favour. So if you're coming back fitter, you come back well, your eyes are aligned, the desires there. Then, of course, I know I've got some good players, and then you add in the organisation, you add in the blueprint of what you think the team can perform. We stuck to our guns today. We stuck to the, well, I get questioned about a lot, you know, but we stuck to the 4-4-2 against the 3-4-3 today, which sometimes doesn't come quite well tactically. And I'm really pleased with that. You know, these are all decisions that need to be made, and I think the players have made a great decision this pre-season, by the way they've looked after themselves, the way they've come back in hungry. The competition, of course, you know, changing people and getting that balance amongst the group. And I think all them things have paid back today with a very good performance overall, a very good performance. There's one again.
Football for your game. What it takes all opponents with 9 goals in pre-season. Once you can't buy a goal, and on the opposite day, once you got with 2 well this week.
That's right, what he stuck at it today. Balancing, I thought his 2 goals were excellent. You know, and like you said, he's got a firm mentality for that. You know, I don't think he overthinks. I mean, his first goal, you know, it's yeah, I mean, it's one of the things that people underestimate. That, you know, he's made the flight of it. The centre half doesn't, of course, but he's touching it. I mean, that's a fantastic skill to do that. And his second goal, brilliant as well, because it's good build-up play. Aaron Peters, it's a fantastic ball in behind him, and what a finish. So, and then Young comes up with the icing on the cake. I mean, another sublime finish from a player who's come up really hungry this pre-season, amongst the many. You know, I must say that enormous respect for Target. A lot of noise this week, you know, about him, and he's there, and he knows the respect he's got from me, myself, the teammates, and the fans there, and I thought he was excellent today.
And your biggest commitment, Gary Peters on left back as well. He's come with 2 assists for you.
Yeah, well, Chelsea, to be fair, he's a bit behind the curve. He missed the early part of pre-season. That work's really important, but we've tried to fast-track him through the games. But in balance, I must say, Aaron's played down the mark. He's made it clear in pre-season. He's not here to make up the numbers. He's been at it all pre-season, fit well. He wants to play, and so that's a good sign. You know, we want that competitive edge. J1, of course, as well. Sorry, drinking, we had fitter. I mean, he's in good shape actually. We've been really pleased with that. It's taken a week, 10 days to get more used to us and get a feel of it. But he'll know, you know, them lads are coming. They'll know there's a competitive spirit here. It's respectful, which is important. But I think you saw on show today. There's no way that he's already, and I think that's a great thing to have. It doesn't guarantee shirts, but equally, complete faith in all the players. You know, got to.
Yeah, and that's as far as we're going to play with Sean Dyche as regards that. Let's hear from Johan Berg Gudmundsson now. A goal for him, a terrific performance by him. Let's see what he's got to say now. Again, this time with Phil Baird.
Yeah, definitely a massive deep push for us, obviously. Going into everything first game, you always want to get on the best starts, especially at home. I thought we did that today, obviously. I think first half was not the greatest football game, but we took the 3 points, so obviously fantastic. Tricky conditions played a part in the opening goal. Yeah, windy out there. It was blowing out the rest, so it was tough for the defenders, but obviously Barnsley, just scrambled on the ball and it went straight to him and that fantastic finish. Tell us about your goal, because I just about to steal things at 3 now. Yeah, it was a good goal. It was a 50-50 ball, and luckily I won it and just decided to shoot it and went back up the net. So and then afterwards it was a bit of I thought it was kind of a decision taken off me, but no, I thought it was a good time for me, and I won the ball and just happened to see it in the back of the goal. It is a new world, isn't it, with VAR? That keeper placed it for a free kick, didn't he, before the decision? Yeah, it is a bit weird that it's something we all have to get used to, but it is in the game now. We just have to get on with it, and that's how it is now. It's a good start to the season. We've had a really good pre-season, it seems. You look fit and healthy. Yeah, I think most of the players in the squad are fit and healthy, ready to go. Really good competition for the starting 11. I think we've done really good pre-season, tough pre-season, but we played some good football as well. But obviously it was difficult today to play some good football because of the wind and all that. But we got the 3 points, and that's all that matters. It's a tough month, isn't it? Because we go to Arsenal, play away at Wolves, we've got Liverpool here. Important to get those 3 points in the bag. Yeah, definitely was. Obviously we have tough ones, as you said, but yeah, we just take each game as it comes, and today we got the 3 points, and we'll go to Arsenal next week and try to get some good result there as well. Always a big game, isn't it? And Arsenal always a game to look forward to. Yeah, it is. So we're one of the big teams, and a great stadium as well, so you look forward to that games. But I think we can definitely do a big job down there and hopefully get some wins. We showed in the past we can get results against the big 6, so why not next week? Yeah, definitely. We know we are extremely tough to beat. We're working hard for each other, and we're going to do that down at Arsenal, and hopefully we can make a few goals.
Yes, why not, Johan? Why not? But one would be hoping. But let's also hear now from one of the debutants, obviously J-Row coming off the bench. But one man who started was Eric Peters. I thought he had a magnificent game. Here he is now, also talking with Clarence players Phil Burt.
Southampton nil. That's a fantastic result on the opening day.
Yeah, really good. First half, I think we did very well. Second half we changed it a bit, but at the end, some good goals and I think deserve win.
Premier League debut for Burnley for yourself. You're an older hunter this. You played a lot of Premier League games this job.
I did, yeah. We're happy to make my debut first game of the season as well. To be in a team. So the lads support me really well and the manager as well. So I'm happy to be here and do my thing.
A couple of assists for you. But yeah, I think the wind assisted the first one as well.
Yeah, the wind assisted the first one, but still, if you don't put it there, you can't score. But no, I think it was a good clearance and then the wind took over and it was great.
The second was a great ball, it wasn't it? Barnes volley.
Yeah, we do this a lot. I think it was a great play from us from control and chasing the right to left, and then it was a good ball in and we played things again.
I'm thinking about the back five, the clean sheets are a big result as well, isn't it?
Yeah, like assists are nice, but a clean sheet and a win is the best, especially for a defender. As a team performance, I think last second half we did really well, and happy to have the 3 points in the pocket and waiting now for next term.
Yeah, next Saturday's Arsenal away. Everybody looks forward to going to Arsenal.
Yeah, like it's a big team, and we have to play a couple of big teams in the league. Every single game is going to be difficult, but we're going to go there and do our best, of course. And of course, there will be opportunities for us, but the main thing is that we stay solid, stay together, and then who knows?
You never know there, do you? You're a good defensive display, score first, you never know.
But that's the thing, like, every game starts with 0-0, so just have to give everything and make sure we're on top level, and then we're going to see after 90 minutes. What's your name?
Well, great debut there for Eric Peters, a terrific performance. But the last word surely must go to the 2-goal hero. Ashley Barnes, off to a flyer, 2 goals for him. He's looked really sharp. Here he is now, last word with him, with Phil Bird.
It's a Christmassy joke, but about ready for the first day of the season.
No, yeah, it was obviously nice to get the first start of the season, and like you say, to come back 2 goals is obviously a lot.
Such a big win when you decide obviously the first day of the season, so you've got away with 3 points. 3 goals look good, doesn't it?
No, yeah, of course, obviously, great team performance, obviously difficult conditions out there, but we were right there in the first one, got a bit of luck from the conditions really easy, we got in, but still had to finish and good luck enough to see it hit the back end.
Yeah, we laughed about it before, and this ain't off this season, you always come alive, you were fantastic last season back end, so to get 2 on the first day, what does that do sort of confidence-wise and in terms of thoughts for the season ahead?
Oh, massive boost, obviously, it was quite throughout pre-season, got 1 goal, so I think the boys had me off for certain days for training, so I've got improved that one today, so obviously when it counts, it's obviously nice to win.
James come in, he's going to be a big part, of course, now manager showed faith in the front 2 from last season, and you've done it again.
Yeah, of course, just got on the paying faith, and obviously, like I said, could have left me out easily because obviously I would have scored a goal, but I think he knows what he gets from me, and obviously he's stuck there, show faith in me, so.
Your boy did start today, Eric Peters, and a great combination, 2 good balls in this.
No, great delivery now, and obviously the first one we were a bit lucky with the slip from Fanga, but the second one was obviously right on the plate, and obviously I just needed to finish it, and lucky enough I did.
We also looked at the new faces in some respects, but we looked about Eric and James. The squad looks really strong, doesn't it? For not many new additions, it looks very good.
Yeah, very strong. You see the lads that missed out today. The lads that obviously they've got readiness and drinkiness and obviously to come back strong and chance. So we've got a massive squad, and look, it's one for fighting for places now, and we'll all be needed at some point, and we've got to start sticking it, and we'll all miss together.
It's just the first day, but in terms of top 5 bit of history, not one at home on the first day of the top 5 season, 67, the best ever first win in a Premier League season to start the year. It's not doing it much better than that.
No, definitely not. I think we all said there, we need to get off to a great start, we need to get as many wins as possible before Christmas, and who knows where it can take you.
Yes, well done Ashley Barnes, a terrific player, and he got the sponsors man of the match. He also got the Premier League man of the match. But the sponsor man of the match, as I said in commentary, actually consists of a bottle of Benedictine, which, as I say, is a local Burnley liqueur, which was started in town back in the maybe late 18th, 19th century. It's a very local tipple. If you ever go down to Burnley, I suggest you buy a bottle because it's absolutely lovely stuff. But that's what the man in the match now gets from the sponsors down at Turf Moor this season: a bottle of Benedictine instead of the normal conventional champagne. There you go. But that brings us to the end of our broadcast this afternoon. I hope you very much enjoyed the rerun of Saturday's game, Saturday's commentary with Burnley Southampton. I very much enjoyed bringing it to you and certainly commentating on it on Saturday afternoon. But there's obviously the football doesn't stop here on the Twitch and YouTube channels, because we're back live tomorrow with Carabao Cup action. We come from Salford. Salford City take on Leeds United. We'll be on the air around about 7:30 in the evening to bring you full match commentary of that game from Salford. And that, by the way, is a cup tie, and it has to be decided on the night. So extra time penalties, you might have to be prepared for that. And then on Wednesday, it's the UEFA Super Cup, the traditional curtain raiser to the European club competition season. 2 English teams involved as well. Liverpool, the European Cup winners, against the Europa League winners Chelsea. And a real test of Frank Lampard's mettle, having been completely beaten to a pulp at Old Trafford yesterday by 4-0. And you'll be able to hear that as well, also at 7:30. Commentators and extra coverage will be giving out in due course. Those are our 2 midweek offerings. Saturday, I can confirm that one of our featured games and one of our live commentaries will be at Bramall Lane on Sunday afternoon. 1:45 we start, 2 o'clock kick-off, Sheffield United against Crystal Palace, and that'll be live as well from Bramall Lane. And hopefully the next night, the Monday night, we will have Wolves against Manchester United for you live as well. And any other live Premier League game over the weekend we'll announce a couple of days beforehand. But that's it from me. Okay, have a fantastic Monday, enjoy yourselves. Burnley are 5th in the table at the moment. The 2 Manchester clubs top of the league. Let me just give you the table. Chelsea in the bottom 3 along with Watford and West Ham. Southampton 4th from bottom. Norwich, then Villa, then Newcastle, all have no points. Wolves 13th, Leicester 12th, Everton 11th, Crystal Palace 10th, Sheffield United 9th, Bournemouth 8th, all have a point each. And then 7th place Arsenal have 3 with a +1 goal difference. Tottenham is 6th with a +2 goal difference with 3 points. Same for Burnley, but they have a +3 goal difference, as do Liverpool and Brighton. Brighton 4th, Liverpool 3rd, and then United with a +4 goal difference on 3 points. At top of the pile at the moment are the defending league champions Manchester City with a +5 goal difference, 3 points. So City and United after 1 game, but a lot can change over the next 37 weeks. But until then, until tomorrow night, have a fantastic rest of your evening, and we'll all reconvene at Salford tomorrow for live coverage of that intriguing Carabao Cup first round tie between Salford City and Leeds United. Till then, from me, JB, take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.